A 33-year-old television tradition comes to an end tomorrow. Wrestling is being taken off British television screens. ITV has decided to scrap its regular Saturday slot for the sport, blaming falling audiences as one of the main reasons behind the move. Well, for millions of die-hard fans of the sport, it'll come as a bitter blow. They've got used to being entertained by a spectacle of theatre, where the participants, like the sport itself, sometimes seem far larger than life.
For the fans, glued to their TV sets in their millions, it's got it all. Action, laughs, snazzy dresses and personalities. Wrestling's Hall of Fame is long and distinguished. The irrepressible Les Kellett, who never failed to make them laugh. The legendary Mick McManus. They just keep on coming in all shapes and sizes. And there's always someone that you just love to hate. But ITV has decided it's time for the final bell. The network believes the audience isn't getting any younger, and that the sport just isn't for the 90s. Grapple and Grunt fans get one last chance to feast their eyes on their favourites this weekend.
Well, joining me now in the studio is one of the sport's all-time legends, Mick McManus, a veteran of many a bout, and with him Mike Archer, who's been responsible for producing the television coverage of the sport. Well, Mike, surely this had to happen. I mean, Greg Dyke, ITV's head of sport, has actually described wrestling as the crossroads of sport.
Well, there were people who would sort of deny its existence as a sport. I prefer to call it a sporting entertainment, to be honest. I think it just got to the point where the image has got a bit dusty. It's 30 years old. It needs up marketing. That can be done, but ITV, I don't think, quite honestly, are very interested in it. They've sort of shunted it around the schedules, put it into an off-peak slot, and yet still it gets a very good audience. It's still a property.
Well, Mick, to a lot of people, although you're now retired, you're still very much Mr. Wrestling. What's your reaction to the sport, just leaving our screens like that?
Very disappointed, Sally. I think not just for myself and the rest of the wrestling fraternity, but I think for the millions of fans who enjoyed wrestling over the years, and given the opportunity, they would still like to watch it, you know, for many years to come.
I know that ITV say that wrestling had a very old audience, and I know for a lot of us too, there's this image of middle-aged ladies with handbags all going mad as you throw somebody around the ring. Do you think that's fair?
No, it's not really. I think there's a great cross-section. If you go to wrestling, like I've been over the years, you find that there's youngsters, middle-aged, teenagers, old people, male and female. No, you get a quite cross-section. And when I was wrestling, I mean, I used to get letters from Irate Colonel in Cheltenham and Mrs. Farquhar Williams in Tunbridge Wells and all that. So you do get a cross-section. And don't forget, too, you've got to remember that His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh went on 2 occasions, and the Duke of Kent went once to the Albert Hall to watch wrestling. So they're pretty upmarket people, aren't they? Let's face it.
But to a lot of us still, though, it did seem like a big fix. You saw people rushing at right angles to one another off the ropes. Isn't it mainly showbiz?
The thing is, you see, the thing is that some people believe it. Some people don't believe it. Some people half believe it. But I think that the main thing is, do they enjoy it? I think that is the bottom line. Do they enjoy it? And I'm sure that the millions and millions and millions did enjoy it and still enjoy it and would still enjoy it.